What's up out there? We are back with some more Path of Exile 2 0.2.0. Dawn of the Hunt patch was live a couple of hours ago. And the first roughly half hour or so, I had spent some time getting my stash tabs ready. Apparently, I'd never set them up in SSF. So when I started the character over here, I didn't have the SSF one set up, so I went ahead and fixed that, and then set up my stash tabs here. I just messed around with all the loot filters and all that stuff. So while I'm in this part of the cemetery, it's been kind of a slow slog getting here. I've also crashed the desktop a number of times. Sometimes you'll go to Portal into Town and a little dialogue will pop up. You click OK on that dialogue, your client will crash. I've disconnected out to the main menu a few times, so it's not been all that great. It's played fairly well when it works, and I've had, I don't know, maybe half a dozen of those crashes. Well, between the crashes and the kicked out to desktop, it was far more in the first hour than it has been recently. So like this last hour has played fairly well. As far as my build goes, I am working on a mercenary that is going to go into Witch Hunter. The ascendancy over on the side where you get enemies have a chance to explode. It's like the Chieftain in PoE 1, the same kind of idea of, you know, kill an enemy and they explode doing fire damage or whatever. I like that. I was working on this as a prototype yesterday. I've been playing this exact build that I'm working on in the regular standard for the last couple of days, trying to figure out what I wanted to do today. So the main build that I'm going to work on for the foreseeable future is this one. I am going to try, even though I said I wasn't going to do it, I am going to take a warrior and make it into a titan. And I want to try monk with both of those with mace skills. I've found some things that there's that pin. Once I got pin, the support gem that's called pin, it makes things that run around really fast a lot better. You can with warrior, you can drop the earthquake. And if you have that pin on there, and the other thing that reduces the amount of time that the earthquake bubbles, it locks those enemies in and then explodes underneath them. So you can just hit the ground, chain them down, and then blast them with that. So I want to tinker with those. I actually tried it on my Titan that's level 70, and I liked it. It felt really good. I was doing that, and I had his regular, whatever his default attack, 5-linked up. Whatever weapon I had was 5-linked. And I was able to use that with the arm. When you break their armor, they explode, or there's an explosion. That had some really good clear. So I'm going to try another warrior. I know I said I wasn't, but it actually felt really good. So I'm planning on starting both the warrior and a monk probably later tonight, getting them at least into town. That way I can start feeding them gear that this guy dredges up. And then I'll just keep pushing through the campaign for this weekend. But those are the three characters that I am going to try out. This is going to be a mercenary witch hunter, as mentioned. I am running scattershot and chain because if I swap over to this, it's like a burst fire gun. Feels really good. I like this one a lot. And actually, honestly, fragmentation rounds are doing some work today. I have been able to mow down a whole bunch of bosses. All the bosses I've fought so far have just been really easy. This thing builds up the stun on them fairly fast. So it's been surprising. I know they buffed the damage for crossbows, but it feels significantly different. And this isn't, like the last time I played was back in December. So, you know, this isn't a memory from December. I just played this 2 days ago, or over the last couple of days, trying to prep for today. And this feels tremendously better. So they've done a really good job of buffing the damage on crossbows. Now, I will say these grenades, I think they sucked yesterday, and now they have an even longer cooldown time. Or is it cooldown time? I guess it's cooldown. Well, that's not too bad. I thought it was the fuse. Okay, it's the cooldown. All right, I don't care about the cooldown. I thought the fuse time went up. I was going to say, if 7-second fuse, you really need it where the fuse goes off faster, because it takes forever for them to explode. But at any rate, this is going to be my build. I'll do a boss fight here so you can see how this looks in case you haven't, if I can not die. Throw some grenades at her. But I think this is doing, like, good damage. This feels way better than it did the other day. And like I said, I just fought her not long ago. It's not been all that long ago. And I'm just blasting through here. I feel like they've really buffed the damage. Actually, I should switch to this. Get that burst shot on her. I mean, that fight just done, over with. These fights were taking a lot longer the other day. So I really think they have improved this quite a bit. The damage definitely feels a hell of a lot better than it did. I will add that the campaign feels a little bit different. So we'll go back to town here. That Lachlan fight will be tough. Don't crash. It's crashed the most when I go back to town. But like in the last league, you would go out this way. In this league, you're going out that way. And it kind of goes off a different, like the map feels different. It's the same map, but it just feels different the way it's set up. So they've definitely changed some things with the way the map goes beyond. And I don't know if they mentioned any of that in the patch notes, but they've definitely changed some things. I have not looked at all the different support gems that are in here. I haven't taken the time to do that yet. I probably need to at some point, but I just haven't done it. So I don't know what else they've added. And I've just kind of been playing along, trying to get acclimated and get my build going. But at any rate, the game feels really good right now. And if this is how but I anticipate that melee is going to feel really good, or the mace skills will feel really good. So if this is the way things felt, of course, I'm understanding how to play a little bit better, and I know what support gems to mix and match, and it's feeling a lot better. I'm starting to understand what they're trying to do with this. So all told, I don't know how much of it is the patch and how much of it is just me getting a little bit more experience with it. I do feel like things are far better right now than they were. So the patch definitely feels really good because, like I said, I just played this a couple of days ago and that boss fight took a lot longer than it just did. And I have worse gear than I had a couple of days ago. Because a couple of days ago, I was playing on my standard league that had a bunch of currency set up where I could go craft a bunch of stuff up and not worry about it. This one's starting from scratch, and it's already doing a lot more damage and staggering the bosses a lot faster. So the patch feels good. The damage feels good. The crashing sucks. The getting disconnected sucks. But otherwise, things feel really good. Now, if this is the way it launched, I would have had a completely different opinion about this than I do now. Unfortunately, it launched in the state that it did, and it was a miserable slog to get through. I will say that I made it through the Act 1 part of the campaign in 2 hours, roughly 2 hours. So I anticipate probably something similar to that here. And it was about 5 or 6 hours into Act 2. I was at the very end boss, and I got killed late last night, so I didn't beat that. But so 8 hours for the campaign, and I think it took like 50 or something like that the first time. Like it was about 10 hours an act, roughly. And then it wasn't nearly as much going through the cruel versions of everything. So I'm looking forward to getting through things faster. And right now, the game feels really good. I have to say that it doesn't feel miserable. I've also taken a character that's got a little better movement speed. I'm not relying on armor. I'm not playing the maze skills. You know, like I've made all these different changes. I'm starting to use the default attacks, which I would have never thought would be an actual thing, but apparently in this game they are. So lessons learned, and it is all feeling a lot better. Probably hang on to some of this stuff. Might actually use some of it. But at any rate, that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully they get all the crashes and stuff fixed by the time you're seeing this and we don't have to deal with it. But otherwise, patch feels good and I'm happy so far. So that's going to do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.